Good evening and welcome to Cliffyland's Global Cooking Challenge. Welcome to night 2 of Syria. Tonight we're cooking Kussa Mehshi, which is a spiced lamb stuffed zucchini, and just letting this catch up. Syria, located right on the Mediterranean, right there. Going through a whole lot of sad situations right now. But we're going to try to do our best to honor this fine country with one of its traditional dishes. This dish is also considered a regular dish in neighboring Lebanon as well. Oh, and again, I apologize for the typo on the schedule. I had a problem with my cutting and pasting. Again, this is country number 169 of 193 UN member states as we learn to cook by doing a different country, working our way around the world. So, with that done, there we are. And let's get that lens on. There we are. Hello. Okay. And all of it at the same time. I hope I don't suffer the consequences. In that I'm doing the entire amount of the stuffing and the entire amount of the tomatoes, but only half the amount of the zucchini. So I only got 2 zucchini, which can be 4 halves. I'll explain some of the nuances on the differences in the way people do that aspect of things in a moment. But here we have our short grain arborio rice. And I'm limping. That's not a whole lot of rice. So we'll get into the zucchini here in a moment. When I went looking for dishes for Syria, came up with a few, 2 that seemed, almost like national dish type level. Junior, thank you for the restream. I've been shoveling all day. My back hurts, but I will be fine. Ah, goodness. And we have one person. Bye-bye. Hey, Junior. So, we are going to soften some butter. So, we need 1 tablespoon of butter. Sorry about all the snow. That I lived in snow up here for quite a while, so I sympathize with you. Though, at most here it was damn cold. We were I just got back from Disney like just this minute. We just stopped, got the lamb, and drove here. And boom. I'm cooking. But this morning was 39 degrees, which for Florida is pretty cold. And I went jogging around the lake in front of the Magic Kingdom and all that. And there was no path. So it was very cold. It was like with wind chill, it was below freezing, which is unusual for Florida, okay? So I had my snow gear in Florida. So I'm going to soften this for a few seconds in the microwave. Yeah, but I was jogging in the tall grass. Well, not the tall grass, the short grass. But it was not fun. Well, it was fun, but it was awkward. Charmaine, hey, thanks for liking the restream. Junior, yes, cold. It was cold last night. We were at a luau kind of thing. It's like coldest. It's weird seeing people with leis and winter coats all at the same time. Very unusual. Hey, Charmaine, how you doing? Okay, so we've softened our butter, so let's set out some of our spices that we're going to be using here. But it's weird. It was so cold. And then by the time we drove here, it was like 57 or something. And I'm thinking, well, that's not that cold. That's sweater weather. So, but there's like a 30 degree difference, in like one day. It's enough to give a person a cold. So we're gonna get some turmeric right here. Notice I go through turmeric like nobody's business. That article they did on me in interview and Medium, they asked me what spice I couldn't live without, and I'm like, turmeric. It's like, look at that. This is like my 5th jar of turmeric. From a guy who had a jar of cinnamon for like 20 years. The times they have changed. Going from not knowing how to boil water to going through turmeric on the regular. So I hope everyone is safe and sound and cozy and warm. So our turmeric right there. And now we're going for cumin 2 ways. We're going for our cumin seeds, which we got somewhere. Cumin seeds, and we're looking for half a teaspoon of the cumin seeds. Hey Lydia, how are you doing? Hope you're feeling better. Hope you were not up to your eyeballs in snow, which you probably are. I mean, I remember big snowfalls when I lived in DC, and thankfully I didn't have to. Whoa, there's that smell. Here, inhale. Deep breath, and out. Release. But yeah, I didn't have to leave the house for days on end, so because I worked out of my home. So when I couldn't see my car under the snow for 3 days, I was okay with that. Then I was so still traumatized over the heat from living in Florida that on the 3rd day that I went and started digging myself out, and I had to borrow a shovel because I didn't have a snow shovel. And I was shoveling and shoveling, and I was sweating and sweating, and my only thought was, oh my god, I am so glad it's cold, because I would be so uncomfortable out here in August doing this. And everyone else is saying, why is this guy smiling? And I was like, no, I'm enjoying this. So going with a quarter. Hey Derek, how are you doing? Thank you for liking the restream. Hey. So we're soaking our rice, or our boreal rice here. Softened our butter. We have our turmeric. We have our cumin seeds. Now we're going to our ground cumin, which is a quarter teaspoon here. I'm almost certain, I mean, if this recipe is to be believed, I will logically have half of my filling left over. Lydia. So good seeing you. This is a very fast recipe, actually. So, for once, I'm not stressed over time. Imagine. Okie dokie. Spin back. Spin, sugar. Alrighty, zucchini. I'm gonna need platters for this. Because it's all gonna have to land somewhere. And zucchini, I washed the zucchini earlier, and here's where we're going to get into the differences between the recipes. In that, I'm gonna wash it a second time just to be sure in case I got amnesia. Amnesia, zucchini. So the recipe calls for 4. I'm making 2. I only bought 2 because I have to be light on the leftovers. Because we're going to be cooking more on... Hey Danny, how are you doing? Thank you for the restream. Cooking more on Tuesday, which will be night 3 of Syria. And what I'm cooking on Tuesday, I'm doing half the recipe, and at half the recipe, I'm afraid I'm going to have leftovers for 3 days. And that's at half the recipe. So, I'm trying to process. Zucchini 1, zucchini 2. Okay, here's the deal.
one recipe that I found for this. Hey, Danny. That recipe I found, I couldn't tell if it was necessarily Syrian or Lebanese because they were talking about both. However, in that recipe, they talked about cutting the ends off and using a special tool that looks sort of like a skewer, and to go in this way and dig out the center and pull the center out, and then stuff it this way. This recipe does not. This recipe does it a much easier way. Good to hear, Danny. Good to hear you're doing well. So, for this, I'm going to cut the ends off thusly. Oh, and I need a bowl. I need a bowl for 2 reasons. I need 2 bowls. Okay, so here we're going to cut this lengthwise. Stay. I'm going to rinse that off some more. Did I just stub my toe? I may have just stubbed my toe. Scrub with a brush. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now we're gonna cut it lengthwise. Stay. Sit, ooh, sit. Yay. Okay. That's number 1. And this shall be number 2. I really hope, now I'm hoping I have enough food. Because it said it served 4 to 6, so I cut it in half. So, ta-da. So that's step 1. Picture time. In case, again, if you're wondering about the pictures, this is all for the blog. Everything is located at cliffyland.com. You can find pictures, links to the original recipes, videos right here, information about the countries, and kind of how things went. And you can catch up on all the countries you missed between Afghanistan and Syria. So, next, I need to be careful, and I need to scoop out the innards of this and save them. And here's the part that I'm a little worried about, because I need the innards of 4 zucchini and only have the innards of 2, so that's already going to throw it off. I'm going to see if a spoon is the right idea for this. I hope it is. So, into the bowl we go. We're going to take out to leave a 1/4 inch shell on the zucchini. But we're going to use the innards elsewhere, which is unique to this recipe in particular. I did not find this in the other recipe that called for everything being shoved in from the top. But this should be better and easier, because I can't imagine having to, get everything in through this narrow opening and get it all the way down to the base of the zucchini. Okay. Oh, and again, I apologize for the umpteenth time about that misspelling up there. I was cutting and pasting from my notes, and I noticed it said week number 1699, and I was like, no, not 1699. For some reason, the cutting and pasting added letters and numbers, and I noticed the extra numbers. I did not notice the extra letters. So now I have an erroneous hashtag, which is embarrassing. But we'll live. So we're listening to Syrian traditional Syrian folk music. This one is better than the one I round up with on Friday, which was not quite as listenable. How's everybody doing? Yes, Syria, long ancient history. Damascus, probably one of the oldest cities on the planet. It is beyond tragic what's happening there right now. Syria, in all the world, people are leaving Syria at a faster rate than any other country for obvious reasons. And it's if you have a moment, if you have a couple spare bucks, I encourage you to go to Doctors Without Borders and make a donation. I know I have, and I shall again. They do great work. Man, I just broke this. We'll live. We will figure it out. Also the International Rescue Committee. Google either donate. Okay. I goofed when I broke this, but I think I can piece that together. So unfortunate. It is just beyond heartbreaking, and it is heartbreaking, and there's nothing that makes it less heartbreaking. And it's not to minimize it in any way, shape, or form. One thing that I've discovered in this process is that there are countries where, and Syria is like one of the saddest in the world. Could be arguably the saddest. I start discovering that there's a lot of countries that things, just as bad are happening that you don't hear about. Like Central African Republic, like South Sudan, so every time I keep coming across these, I put the links into the Doctors Without Borders, and then I make a donation. So, I am using a skewer to put my cucumber that I broke back together again, because I'm crafty like that. Let's see if it works. Let's hope it works, and I don't eat the skewer. Okay, so we have those. I need to take a picture. Okay, so we have hollowed out our zucchini and broken one. This is where extra would come in handy, wouldn't it? Okay, focus. Okay, so now that we've done that, I'm gonna put these on a platter aside, and then gonna take our zucchini innards here and chop them finely. This is a spare bowl. What a Boy Scout you are. Yeah, well, I don't know why it came to mind. Learn not to freak out. Okay, so we're chopping our zucchini innards finely. Again, there would normally be the innards of 4 zucchini, not 2. So that's going to throw off the mixture, but alas. Alas and alack. So, how was everyone's weekend? On a lighter note. Lighter note. Okay, so just came from Disney. Had a great time. Did the Magic Kingdom. It was very cold. There's people in winter coats and parkas. And then we rode the line at Splash Mountain was oddly short, which is not unusual because you get wet. And then you get cold. And you're cold and wet after getting splashed on. I missed something. So that was fun. And we saw the, there's a thing called the Trader Sam's, which is almost like, it's a bar at the Polynesian. And it's a bar that's almost a ride in and of itself, because when people order certain drinks, different things happen. And like a giant tiki god will light up, or people start chanting. I was lazy, yours sounds fun. It was fun. But it was crazy. There was people ordered a Nautilus thing, a big picture of the Nautilus from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea lights up. And then the server starts chanting stuff and lighting things on fire. And everyone in the place, it's a very small space, but everyone has to chant along. And depending what drink people order, weird things happen. Like a volcano erupts and suddenly a big wind comes in and you start seeing rain outside the window. And it's very cool. Very small. It's almost like a speakeasy. You just see this door in the middle of a wall that you say, well, that has to be like a utility closet. And oh my god, there's a bar back there. We were just reading that the one in Disneyland in California is much larger. But it was lots of fun. It was lots of fun, and I got to run this morning. So now I've run, I used to like not run if I wasn't like at home. But now this past year, I've run around Disney, I ran around New York, around LA, around DC. Where else did I go? Oh, in Columbus. So I've got my own my Nike Plus maps of me running around different places. So that was fun. Okay, we've got our chopped zucchini innards. I'm gonna clean this off, and I think we've been draining this. Hey, Clifton, how you doing? Clean this off, and then we've been draining, soaking this for about 20 minutes now. So let me clean this off, and we'll move on from there. I'm so hungry. I didn't have lunch. That was probably inopportune to say in reference while we're doing this. Apologies. Okay. And hey Clifton, how you doing? Choo. And so now that this has been draining for about 20 minutes now, good timing here. I'm gonna drain this. How about you? I have to remember to heat up my pita. Is zucchini akin? Derek says, is zucchini more akin to marrow or cucumber? Well, I don't know what marrow is. It's like a cucumber, but it's not. That's all I can tell you about zucchini. It's like a cucumber, but it's not. You can have it cooked, you can have it raw. Though raw, you don't really want to eat the skins. At least I don't want to eat the skins raw. Which goes back to when I was a kid and I was in Florence in Italy. And I had a hankering, and they were selling them on the roadside, you know, and on a table side of the road. And I just had my dad buy me when I started eating it like it was a raw apple, and then I got sick. So my body was not used to that. So here we have our drained rice, and we're gonna start mixing stuff into here. You know what? I think I want a bigger bowl. We're gonna need a bigger bowl. So into you, because more has to go into here. And this, as with Tuesday's dish, you need your hands. Clean hands, as Judge Judy says. The edict of clean hands. Okay, so into here we are, again, cleaning hands again. You need to take pictures. Okay. So, In camera, turmeric goes into the rice. Go, boom. Then what comes in? The chopped zucchini goes in. Boom. Then comes, well, why not? The ground lamb. Now, in terms of the ground lamb, I had to have the butcher, specifically, go out and chop something and grind it. And I had him grind it twice because one of the recipes mentioned that for this dish and for Tuesday's dish. So it's very pasty, is the idea. Ground lamb. So in you go. Okay. Be right back. Okay. We don't have zucchini, but we do have courgettes, marrows, and cucumbers. Courgettes. I've heard courgettes. I think that might be the same thing. I think that might be zucchini because something tells me it is, because I did see that word, courgettes, in a recipe once, and going, where am I going to find that? And I looked and I looked and I said, oh, it's the same thing. It's a zucchini. Different word. I mean, Google it, but I think that might be the same thing. It has a little knob on the end. You saw it had the looks like a dial on top almost. That's how I know to tell the difference, as opposed to a cucumber that's kind of, round on both ends. So we've added in our ground lamb. Now we're going to add our cumin seeds. Focus. Okay. And after our cumin seeds, our ground cumin. Ground cumin. Boom. And after ground cumin, salt and pepper. And it says a specific amount of salt and pepper at that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Going for half a teaspoon of salt. Sorry, quarter teaspoon of salt. That's 1/8. That's a half. That's a quarter. Okay. Right hand, left hand. Okay. Okay, quarter teaspoon of salt. Come on. Boom. And quarter teaspoon of pepper. Okay, you go here. See if we can open this thing. Lift and remove. Well, now you tell me. Okay. I don't like this container. I just bought it. Come on. Okay. Quarter. Now again, right hand, left hand. Always have to remember which hand is taking the pictures. Okay. Focus. Come on. Pepper. Okay, and then we mix with our hands until it's blended. That's it. Courgette equals zucchini. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Yes, there's a few things. Since the recipes I look for, are international by definition, and I keep finding things calling for, item X or Y, and I go, oh, I'll never find that. I don't know what that is. Especially going back to, the beginning where I didn't know, how to boil water. Basic things, like it says, oh, coriander, and I'm thinking coriander, no, they mean cilantro. Oh, I didn't realize that's the same thing. The coriander normally is referring to, here at least, is referring to the seeds of the plant, which is a spice, as opposed to the cilantro leaves, which is the herb on top. I didn't realize people use one word for both. In any case, here goes nothing. Hands. Because I am not taking a picture after I get my hands all dirty. Okay, here and away we go. Thank you for the like, so thank you for the like. Okay, so we're mixing this up again. I have the right, for the full recipe, I have the right amount of lamb. I have the right amount of spices. I have the right amount of everything. I have half the amount of the zucchini innards. This is very moist. The idea here is to do this until it's blended and then add a quarter cup of water and knead it until it's evenly moistened. But there's so much moisture in that zucchini innards that it seems pretty darn moistened already. Also cold. Also cold. Okay. I hope I chopped, I don't think, maybe I didn't chop that zucchini fine enough. But, you know, live and learn. Lavender Femchi, thanks for liking the restream. Thank you. We are cooking our Kussa, one more time. Kussa Mehshi. Kussa or Kussa? I think it's Kussa. Kussa? I don't know how to pronounce the U. Kussa Mehshi is a spiced lamb stuffed zucchini. So it's sort of a national dish in Syria. It's also sort of a national dish in Lebanon. I don't know if the stuff it from the top is more of a Lebanese preparation versus the Syrian one, but I did find this one, which was, it's easier to stuff a zucchini by slicing it in half than, you know, shoving it in from the top. So, this is very cold, because the lamb was in the fridge, and the zucchini was in the fridge, and I've been cold for the last 2 days, so, which I hate. I'm not complaining. I live for this. I live for the cold weather, and I hate the heat, and I'm not living in the right state for that. Okay, so, ooba-dooba, blending it up. Okay, now it's starting to get sticky, so now I'm getting the idea of needing to add the more water. Which is going to be tricky because I need to wash my hands again to get the water. But it is what it is. Don't want to waste a whole lot of meat here. Okay. Off to the sink I go. Be right back. Okay, quarter cup of water. Okay, quarter cup of water we got. Over here. Ready to go. And doom. Doom 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 doom. Okay. And we're gonna mix it up some more. Yes. Okay. That seems, well, I'm sure it's gonna work. Just seems like it's making, well, it's need to get stuffed into those shells, and I know, considering I'm doing half the amount of zucchini, I am assuming I'm gonna have half of this left over, which I will, you know, make into a stir fry tomorrow. Did you meet the height requirement for all of the rides? I'm not a tall man. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I think the only couple that they actually have height requirements that I've noticed. Although, do I recall, as a teenager, close friend of mine that went to Disney with him, and he was an amputee. His left leg was amputated like above the knee, and so he had a prosthesis. And so, back then, prostheses aren't where they are today, so he walked with a very distinct, limp, and we wanted to go on Space Mountain, and he was sure that they wouldn't let him on, so I had to sit there and stand in front of his leg the whole time and just kind of, distract everyone. And he was just saying how he was just afraid that his leg would go flying and hit someone in the head. So, now that it's all thoroughly moistened, time to wash again. Okay, so we're ready to start stuffing. Okay, we'll take a picture of you now. Let's see, are you happy now? Focus. Okay. And I got my spoon. Where's my spoon? Let's start stuffing. Okay, we got our zucchini over here. And now I'm going to start stuffing this into that. Okay, and wait, I need 2 spoons. Okay, right hand, left hand. Okay, now I need to hope these stay vertical. When the recipe where it calls for things stuffing from the top, and that recipe, the zucchini sort of are in water, like submerged, which struck me as odd because, all your stuffing would, come out, and that's not what I imagine one would want. This way they are not submerged in water. So I think this works better, or would logically work better, let's put it that way. But like I said, in this case, this recipe, we're not using store-bought tomato paste. We're kind of making our own. But you'll see that in a minute. Stand up straight. I know my mom's not actually watching this time. And stuffing the zucchini like this, like that, y'all. And there were a lot of people, usually at this time of year at Disney, there's, you can just jump on any ride you want. Of course it was a weekend, but the Magic Kingdom is always packed. You can always tell the stroller parking. When the stroller parking is the size of a parking lot, you know you're going to have issues. Martina, how are you doing? Thanks for liking the restream. Good seeing you. We are stuffing our zucchini for our Syrian dish. I did kind of break one of the zucchini halves, so I've cobbled it together with a skewer, and hopefully that will work. And I won't take a picture of that one at the end. And like I said, maybe I should have gotten 4 zucchini. I just figured I probably should have gotten 4 zucchini. I'd figured they wouldn't fit in the pot, and then on the pan, and then I'd wonder about how's that going to work, and leftovers, and yada yada yada. So I did 2 zucchini, and the stuffing for 4. So I'm assuming again that I'm going to have leftovers, and I'm hoping that stays together. What's for dinner? We are making Kussa Mehshi, which is a spiced lamb stuffed zucchini. So this is ground lamb mixed in with a number of spices, turmeric, cumin seeds, ground cumin, salt and pepper, and zucchini innards to go in with the zucchini outards. Why would they not be called outards if the innards are called innards? Riddle me this. Linguists of the world. Yes, indeed, I have half of my mixture left over, which I'm going to have to refrigerate and find some use for tomorrow. Oh, and there's rice in here, which is a short grain arboreal rice, which was soaked in water for about 20 minutes. So here we have that, and I'm going to have to find a use for you tomorrow. I'll throw something together for a leftover dinner of what's left. Oh, okay. Alrighty, so here we take out our lily pads, leftovers to me, yes. So getting out the magical lily pads. Charles Vianson. They gave me the URL to give to people. Charles Vianson, do not accept substitutes. High quality silicone. Magic. They take high temperatures, low temperatures, refrigeration. Lily pads. Do you see? Simple as that. Charles Vianson. Google it. Pick up some green peppers and have stuffed peppers. Yum. You know, I have half of a green pepper, though it's probably too old to eat now. Okay, so this, what I always do with this kind of thing is it's always, I mean, being Puerto Rican, I'm just always thinking picadillo. So I just grab some rice and just mix it in, cook it, and boom. Yeah, I mean, it already has rice in it, but, you know. That's just the way my brain works. And I have no room in the fridge anymore. Okay. So, we've got these, and this is going to sit over here. See, one of the things was the skillet being big enough. As Sheldon would say, "Oh, lamb meat, that tastes like sweat, haha." I'm hearing it in my ears. The Sheldon reference, I assume, is a Big Bang Theory reference. I know bits of it, but not personally familiar, other than the Bazinga thing. Okay, so now I have definitely already cleaned the tomatoes, because I cleaned them within an inch of their lives. I got green, more green tomatoes, greener tomatoes. Oh no! No. That's what I thought. But this one started to ripen a little much. Shucks. Well, we're not using that part of it. Ooh, this one's gotten soft. I thought I bought them like 2 days ago. These two are fine. This one got all soft on me. And I hate these damn stickers. Like I said, I saw years ago a thing saying that they were gonna laser etch onto fruits and vegetables, so you wouldn't have to put stickers on them anymore. But I guess that never happened. Probably cost too much to do. Hate the damn stickers. Okay, so we're gonna make our own tomato paste out of this. And so that's what's happening here. So first I gotta get the damn stickers off. Okay. Well, I'll just cut around the part that I don't want. I hope that's okay. In any case, I got enough for the whole recipe. No, we're gonna find out. We'll do this one first. Okay, so the idea is here to make 1/4 inch thick slices. Let's just lop off that entire top. The rest of it seems okay. So, you go away. Ah! Yuck. Yuck. Okay, I'm gonna clean this off. Again, OCD strikes again. Okay, be right back. Now someone's got to tell me that having them sitting up on the thing in the there is probably what caused them to ripen faster. Which is probably true. I just thought I would get some that, you know, had some, that looked like they had a couple days from being ripe. Seems okay, right? There's nothing like particularly gross about that. Okay, here we go. What did I do with, yes, my tomato knife. Okay, 1/4 inch thick slices. Here we go. 1/4 inch. I'm guessing it's okay. And don't slice your hand. It's best not to slice your hand. Okay, so slicey, slicey. And off with their heads. Okay, should not have said that. Okay, and ow. Okay, that was my finger. Not an even slice in anybody's world, but it will have to do. Okay. Okay, and that one came out better. So this is going to be what's going to form our tomato paste. Okay, and that'll do. Okay, so we have our slices over here, and camera. All right, and are we ready? Oh, yes, we're going to season these with salt and pepper. Give me 1 second. Okay. Installed that lily pad, cover large or extra large. Instilled that lily pad, cover large. That was the, I think that was the large one. I did buy the extra large separately. When I was back in Columbus over New Year's, because it was good. So that was a large. That looks like a, hey Anne-Marie, that looks like a cheese knife. No, it's a serrated knife that's, you know, suitable for vegetables, and I guess it could be cheese if you want. But what was sold for me as being, like, particularly for tomatoes because of the serrated edge and the skin of the tomatoes. And the guy was also saying that, oh, this is good for, you know, you can grab the tomato like that. And I was thinking, that may be true. However, I found that better, more useful to de-seed the tomato when I need to do that. So, for what that's worth. Okay. And I just can't bear to look at the seeds. Okay, boom. Okay, salt and pepper, season lightly. There's not that much in there. And pepper, 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 pepper. Come on. All right. I have a shaky here, so let's see how that works. All right. And I should take a picture of that. And that's gonna look funny, me shaking it with the lid covered. And now that we have that, we're ready to go. Boy, it's early. It is early. It is early, early, early. Not that early. Okay, so let's move you to the other side of the room. We'll move this also. And the next question for me is, it says to use a skillet. Does not say to use a pot. However, it needs, I did say hi, thank you, Dan Marie, didn't I? I hope I did. If I didn't, thanks again. Okay, so camera and all the equipment comes across the room. Hi. Okay, let's make room here. Don't fall. Okay, so we have our stuffed zucchini halves. We have our tomato slices. And skillet time. Since I have that problem with my damaged skillet, I'm gonna have to go with this. And since I need a lid, I'm not going with the cast iron, even though that would fit things better. Okay, because this is going to need to be covered. Good, thank you. All right, so, skillet, paper. We're going to line the bottom of the skillet with the tomato slices. Am I right or am I right? Just making sure. Okay, so tomato slices go along the bottom of the skillet. Which they should have been evenly sliced, but they're not, but we'll live. The slightly mushy one. See, that just barely, you know, fits the bottom. Did you eat at Disney? Yes, I did, and let me tell you, there's a few things about that. When I was much younger, before I, you know, sort of became a foodie and started paying attention to food, I sort of worshipped the food at Disney, and some of it is very, very good. Now, in retrospect, you know, I mean, we're not talking the counter server stuff. I mean, like the nice sit down, make a reservation stuff. But now, some is good, some is not so good. And at Magic Kingdom, traditionally, there's this Beauty and the Beast place where it's a big deal dinner, and the dinner is phenomenal. The lunch is crappy. And then we ate at the Liberty Tree thing, which is the only other nice place to sit down. And I had a phenomenal sandwich. I mean, sandwiches are underrated. And I really have never been a fan of the BLT, but this was, like, really good. It's like with Canadian bacon. I think it was Canadian bacon. But it's like, you know, thick bacon and lettuce and tomato. I never, ever have, like, voluntarily ordered a BLT before, but that was really good with homemade bread. It was really good. Okay, I'm having trouble balancing my tomato, my zucchini on top of my tomato here. And the one with the skewer is going to be even trickier. See, how could I possibly have 8 slices in a skillet? You tell me. It's supposed to be in a single layer. Okay. There's just no way. Ah! That's the one that broke. Okay, I'm trying to balance you out. They're like not resting evenly on the tomato slices because I didn't cut them evenly. So, okay. See, how am I supposed to have, see, this is what I was thinking. How am I supposed to have 4 halves, or 8 halves, in a skillet lined one time? I didn't see how that could happen. Okay, so now we've got that in a layer. Boom. What happens next? We're going to add a cup of water into the skillet here. And then we're going to bring it to a boil. It will be okay. Didn't fit. Yeah, well, I don't see how, I don't know, I hate recipes when I look at it and I go, okay, I may not be the brightest guy in the room, but something seems wrong. I mean, oftentimes I realize that I screwed up and I understand why they said XYZ. But sometimes I realize the recipe is actually off. And it's not me. So, okay, here, bring to boil. Front burner, large element, bring to boil. And once we bring it to boil, we're going to cover it and simmer it on a moderately low heat for about 25 minutes until the lamb is cooked through and the rice is tender. So that's going to be 25 minutes of me tap dancing. Because I'm not making something else as another side. Because I didn't, the only other things I could find that I could do that with required cooking stuff for a, just one second, Han? Oh, shoot. We're having an issue with electricity here right now. Okay, well, he'll come down sooner or later. Did the recipe specify the size of the skillet? No, it did not. It did not say. But, you know, I took a pound of tomatoes. That's exactly 1 pound of tomatoes. It's supposed to be 1 layer. So, I mean, how big would the skillet be? Simmer down. Simmer down now. Simmer. Simmer. So, getting the simmer, simmer, simmer down. Simmer down. Okay, waiting for that to come to a boil, which is gonna be weird because it's only 1 cup of water in there. So while that happens, I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350 because I want to serve this with pita bread. I did not make pita bread. I have in the past. I've made pita bread, and if you want some good comedy, go to my website at cliffyland.com and check out the entry for Bosnia and Herzegovina. That was my first attempt at baking anything, and I made a big disaster of the pita bread. And then I tried again another time, and it kind of worked okay. Sort of. And then the third time, better, and I wasn't going to try a 4th time, though. Because the amount of water adage would be proportional to the size of the skeleton. Huh. Still, that would be very shallow. It's already shallow as it is, too. I'm just saying. May have vaguely nicked my finger, but not much. Because you just said that. Hon, you there? No. Okay. Okay, it's coming to a boil, so now we're turning this down to a moderately low heat. And we're going to simmer, cover, and simmer for 25 minutes. Which takes us to about 7:20. Which is a little early, but that's okay. Hon? We just had an issue with a light bulb exploding. He says maybe turn off the power off the main switch on the circuit breaker if you're planning on the main switch on the top. Sometimes it can be difficult to unscrew. Just keep. Yeah, I know that. Here, that's what he wrote. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just hoping the house doesn't burn down an electrical fire tonight. So we're preheating the pita bread because I'm not making my own pita bread. And that's going to be dinner, so I'm going to put the pita bread, I'm going to cut it. And, so I bought pita bread. So, that's what's going to happen. And nothing else has happened. Oh, yes, the other thing I had an option of doing, since I'm sitting here killing time, let me show you, was a side dish involving lentils. Which I kind of wanted to make, thinking, but I didn't think I'd have time. Come back. How long does that take? I mean, I have the lentils. 20 minutes, eh? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I could make it. I don't know if I should. No, I don't have Swiss chard, so I can't make it because I did not buy Swiss chard for it. So, alas, no lentils for you.
You didn't buy what?
Yeah, I thought, at the last minute, I thought, well, you know what? I could make the lentils, just since I have 20 minutes to kill. But it also involves the Swiss chard that I didn't buy. And the pomegranate syrup that I didn't buy. So I knew there was a reason I didn't do it. So, pita. Lavender Femchi says the Bosie won't burn down because the bulb exploded. Relax and talk. Thank you. See? It, the bulb had burnt out, and then oh, that's what they're talking about. No. The bulb part kind of broke off and inside, and to take it out, we couldn't because, electricity. and we're trying to turn off the electricity. And we couldn't, we tried every circuit breaker in the house and none, you know, we thought we had it and it sparked. And it's like, okay, maybe we didn't get it. So, so we're in a little semi-free. But thank you. Says the house won't burn down. So we trust her. Okay.
Who Dave said that?
No, no. Our friend Lavender Finch here said that. So maybe he can make it someday. Just have to figure out where the main power is. So what did I do with the here? So I got a couple of pita. I'm going to toast it in the oven when this preheats for a couple minutes. Not too much. So that's kind of that. Just so you know, what I'm making Tuesday, as I said, is kibe.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yep. Yes, a potato after you turn off the whole house electric. Use a potato. Oh, use a potato. Yes, I've heard about that. You can
try it.
Yes, that holds onto the thing. But yes.
But we have to figure out how to turn off the electricity.
That's
the problem.
Yes, but the potato will save you. You don't have to cut your hands, and you're not using a metal thingamabob that would spark. So there's that too. That is it, indeed.
You have to turn the electricity off.
May power mug at the circuit breaker. We looked. I'll look again, but I mean, logically, it'd be in the house. You wouldn't want your main power switch outside the house, so someone could turn off the. Hey, let's go in. Let's rob them blind. So 20 minutes on that. Pita bread here. Oh yes, the kibe. I'm just really curious now that I have time to kill here. K-I-B-B-E-H, kibe. K-I-B-B-E-H, kibe. Question on what exactly it is. Okay, kibe or keba, 3 spellings, is a Levantine dish. Levant is, you know, the whole ISIS people, the whole thing. That's kind of basically the Islamic region in the Middle East. It's a Levantine dish made of bulgur, minced onions, and finely ground lean beef, lamb, goat, or camel meat made with Middle Eastern spices. So that's what we're making. But it's sort of like a cake made out of meat. So, but the thing is that called for, again, the metric, 300 grams of lamb for the top and bottom parts, and 300 grams of lamb for the middle part, which strikes me as like
a whole lot of lamb.
3.5 pounds of meat, which we're not eating. Just don't pay the bill. Power company will take care of the rest. Ha ha ha. Just make sure the light switch is off and you'll be fine. My husband does it all the time. Ah! That makes sense. Duh.
We have the main light switch in the attic on.
No, the actual light switch that controls the light.
But if the main power source is turned off in the attic, then
But that's not,
an issue.
but that wasn't it. No, but if you turn off the electricity to the socket, then there's no electricity going to it. We had the light switch turned on.
Yeah, but the main power source is turned off in the attic.
We think the main power source is turned off in the end. The main power source is not turned off. But you're right, the switch was on. The light switch was turned on when that happened. But yes, potato. Potato. So anyway, meat. So I'm doing half for Tuesday. So hopefully it's going to fit. And I'm hoping it's going to fit in this heavy sucker. So it's going to be about like, so 3/4 of a pound of meat divided by 2, and then 3/4 of a pound of meat in the middle. So there's going to be a lot of meat. But it's going to be good. So tune in on Tuesday for that. As with Friday's dish, that was really great. The Syrian, the spiced fish on the spiced rice, was super, super tasty. We'd like devoured that very quickly. So there were no leftovers there. And also on the side on Tuesday, we're making chickpeas. And we're using our bulgur wheat for that. Which is funny because nobody knew what bulgur wheat was at the grocery store. It took 3 people running around. Someone had to go into the back and say, we have some here, but we don't know how much it costs. We don't know how much to charge. Which is kind of funny. But they found some. But I have to remember tomorrow, and that's not going to be on camera because, you know, who needs to watch me, like, you know, soaking things in water. But to soak the chickpeas in water overnight and soak the bulgur wheat in water overnight. And then the morning of, and that doesn't have to be on camera, to cook the chickpeas for about, what, 3-4 hours. And you don't need to watch that because that would be boring. So that's going to make a side, like an appetizer thing of the chickpeas with yogurt. And that's going to be really quick to put together once the chickpeas are actually cooked. So that. Okay. Well, I can start putting stuff away because I don't need it. I hope. I will need that plate back, which is okay. And I'm going to need my masher to mash the tomatoes. If I can get this out. Mashy, mashy. Sorry for the typos, don't worry. Look, me with a Syria. Me and typos. Worry not. Okay, so we have trash, and hey, wait a minute. Okay. I have a good question here. Where, pray tell, did my butter go? Let's find out where it was supposed to go, because I obviously forgot it. That's the oven. Let's find out where I screwed up, shall we? Butter, butter, butter. It's supposed to be in the mix. Ooh, I love your utility drawer. Yes, well, it's just basically the wire thingies, the little wire trays to separate it. Did we got that in Columbus, the organizer person, right?
In the drawer?
Yeah, the wire things, or is that your idea?
I thought the organizer people
yes,
here bought them.
Yeah, we hired an organizer for our general mess because I have no sense of order. So, yeah, she just said, hey, listen, we went to a container store and bought these little wire mesh baskets, and they work really well to separate stuff, which is handy. So, that's the utility drawer. Yay! Damn it, I was supposed to put the butter in there. Oh, well. It's supposed to be mixed in. I could just pour it on top. And just spread it on top. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? Let's see how that goes. And release. I know, steam's coming out. That's twice as much as I need. Come on. Oh, I guess I need another butter. Another knife. Yeah, I know it's not spread over. Maybe it'll melt over. Well, it will melt over. Oh, brother. Too softened. Too soft. Let go. Let go. Okay. Too soft. Sticking. Come on. Okay, back on. Melt it. That's what's happening. Well, it's... Oh, you mean melt it and pour it on. Well, it's gonna melt now, so... Oh, it's something. I hate it when I do that. I hate it when that happens. You know that time when I took a ball-peen hammer? Yeah, and I just like whacked it into my ear for a few, you know, after 20, 30 minutes, that started to get really painful. I hate it when that happens. And then I took a, what do you call it? A saw? Yeah, a saw, and I just started putting it between my toes, back and forth, and after about an hour, that started to really hurt. Yeah, Jessica, thanks for liking the restream. It's good too. Hi, Jessica, how are you doing? Good evening, we are cooking our Kussa Mehshi. Kussa Mehshi. Spiced lamb stuffed zucchini from Syria. It is something of a national dish in Syria, also in Lebanon, across the border. Although another more Lebanese recipe, and I don't know if it's a difference between Syria and Lebanon, had the zucchini stuffed from, you know, cut off and drill out the innards and then stuff it from the top, and this one had them cut in half and stuffed that way. However, I did decide to do only half of the recipe vis-a-vis the zucchini, not vis-a-vis anything else, which meant that I have leftover innards, which is fine, but I hope it's enough food, because I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And that doesn't strike me as going to be enough food, because I didn't have lunch. Because I was driving back from Disney World. Right now. Right now. Nikki says hi. He was frozen. Frozen, and not in the Disney movie sense of frozen. Hold on. Han? Could you bring me a Band-Aid? Thank you. So we have got our oven preheated, but I don't want it to cook too long. Yes, it does. It should be yummy. I am wondering how long that's the zucchini. What about no. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna toast the, oh my god, I gotta get the baking tray out. The already cooked pitas in the oven at 350, but I don't know how long. Disney World is the bomb. Yes, and apparently everyone else there thought it was today too. I always wind up in the Magic Kingdom, and I keep saying I'm not going to wind up in the Magic Kingdom, but this time, you know, we were right nearby, so we're at the Polynesian. Like I said, it was very cold. It was like 36 degrees when I went out running this morning. I did my 6-mile trek around Bay Lake.
So this is the size we have. Is this too small?
No, that works. I just nicked the edge of my finger.
I nicked the edge of my finger, but I'll be okay.
Thank you. A slice of the tomatoes.
Okay. Ta-da. Epcot is my favorite. We love Epcot. That's the one that we, you know, tend to spend the most time at, because and the Food and Wine Festival every fall is incredible. They have not only the different nations that are there, but they have stalls for about like 15 to 20 other countries in front, and you can get small little dishes representative of the dishes of these different countries. The funny part is when I first started going to that, 4 years ago, I just started this project, and I just cooked like a couple of the A countries. And I said, oh, I know what's going to be coming, you know, Argentina, oh, I did that, and now I see, you know, where I went wrong. But I said, oh, I'll have to look forward to this, that, and the other for all these other countries. And now I've done, like, you know, almost 4 years of this. So when we went this past fall, I went, wow, now I know that this is supposed to be like this, but they changed the ingredients or the preparation to make it more palatable. for, you know, like American audiences at Disney World. So it was curious to see how the things changed. For instance, with the Scotland, they had it's supposed to be a haggis, and I'm sure it's not anything like actual haggis. It was like indicative of haggis. So, like I said, they had one booth for Africa, which I thought was ridiculous. I mean, Morocco had its own, but the rest of Africa had one little booth with 2 dishes, and I was really curious. Food and wine is great, you're so right, yes. It's also very crowded, and you got to see people drink their way around the world. And so they start on one end and they start drinking, and by the time they hit Italy, which is in the middle, they're passing out. So they're like, so you have little children running and going, oh, mommy's not feeling well, you just go ahead, we'll go to the Mexico ride, we'll meet you in England or something, we'll be at the bar. So there's a lot of that happening. Doopy-doo, I'm still waiting. I don't want to put that in for too long because I don't want to burn them. I'm thinking 10 minutes would be more than enough because really I just want to heat them up a little bit, so that would be way more than enough. So that's what's happening. I might as well get my plates ready. And I need to get a plate to temporarily hold the zucchini halves while the tomatoes become mashed. Ooba dooba. So there. What else? We've got trash to take care of. So exciting, right? You watch that. What else can I tell you? What else do you want to know? Most of the rides were all like, fast passes were all taken, so we just rode the Splash Mountain and got wet and cold. When it's like 40 degrees, you don't want to ride a ride that's gonna like, you're gonna get wet. Thankfully it did not get soaked, it was just a little wet. Still, my butt was still wet like an hour later. And it was funny seeing people walk around like, you know, wet spots on their butts. Derek, I looked away for a second, and when I looked back, I thought I was tuned into Scrubs. Oh, ha ha ha! Yes, brown bear. Okay. Clean. Alrighty. I got time, so I'm always curious what American shows are popular, you know, elsewhere. Because I have a young man who follows my blog who started writing to me on Tumblr, and he's from Hungary. And so we were just chatting, and I said, oh, I'm in Florida, and all he knew about Florida was from his favorite TV show, and I'm just trying to imagine what it's going to be, because he's very young. So I was saying, it's not going to be Miami Vice, it was a Dexter, you know, what TV show could he possibly say that's set in Florida, that's how he relates to Florida? Cougar Town. He watched Cougar Town. And I was thinking, that's really funny. It's cute, it's a nice show, it's set in Florida, it's not filmed in Florida. So, it's just a random backdrop. Okay. It's really funny seeing all the shows that are set in Miami but not filmed in Miami. You can always tell that they have the tall palm trees in the back. So that's California. And then we see mountains, because we have no mountains, we're flat. Oh, near where we were in Disney, south of it, there's a little town called Lake Wales. They have this tower that sings and chimes and does stuff, but it's like one of the highest points in the state. And it's like one of the only places you can stand there and look down into a valley. And you're thinking, there's houses down there. This can't possibly be Florida. But it is. And there's a place, there's like this optical illusion where if you put your car in neutral, it feels like you're rolling uphill, but you're actually rolling downhill. It just looks like you're rolling uphill. They call it the, what is it, the Magnetic Mountain or something. Runs through a suburb. I wouldn't want to like live on a street and have people just like randomly like have their cars in neutral and watch them roll downhill. That would be strange. Doesn't seem like it would be safe. Okay, we're closing in on, we got 5 minutes more on that. However, once that's done, I'm gonna have to take those off the plate. Oh, and I'm gonna need something to do that with. Tongs. And that's gonna wind up on that plate over there. And then, 4 minutes. We'll have 4 minutes to thicken the tomatoes and smash them. We gave the world Billy Connolly. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And Sheena Easton. And Alan Cumming. And Sean Connery. Annie Lennox. Oh boy. This is a trivia question. Name famous Scotsman. If this is like a game show. Wow. With the thing.